Okay, this video will be to help you with homework number 7.1G, reflections over the axes. So let's take a look at problem number 10 and 13. Both of these involve reflecting multiple points, one over the x-axis and the other problem over the y-axis. So if we do one of these, you can see how multiple points interact with the x and y-axis as they reflect over each one. And then you can apply that to the rest of the worksheet. So let's start with number 10. First thing we want to do is graph the points and connect them to form a polygon. In number 10 we have 3 points, so our polygon is going to be a triangle. Let's get a bigger marker here. Let's draw our axes, something like this. And now we'll plot the points. Alright, so point 2, 4 is to the right 2, up 4, roughly right there. 3, 1 is to the right 3, up 1, roughly right there. And 5, 0 sits right here on the x-axis. So now let's connect those points. And now we want to reflect it over the x-axis. Since 5, 0 sits on the x-axis, reflecting it over the x-axis isn't going to make it go anywhere. So our new point is going to be right there still. 3, 1 is 1 unit above the x-axis. So the reflection has to be 3 to the right still, but then 1 unit below the x-axis, which would put us right here. And 2, 4 is 4 units above the x-axis, so the reflection needs to be 4 units below the x-axis. That will be at 2, -4. So now our new shape looks like this. That is a reflection over the x-axis. So for our new points, 2, 4 went to 2, -4. 3, 1 went to 3, -1. And 5, 0 stayed the same. If you look, all that happened was the x value stayed the same. We had 2, 3, 5 before, and we still have 2, 3, and 5. But all the x values became negative. 4 became -4, 1 became -1, 0 became still 0. That will occur every time we have a reflection over the x-axis. Now let's look at a reflection over the y-axis. So we'll do number 13. See if I can move. Alright, so we'll draw 13 over here. We want to plot those 3 points again, and then reflect it over the y-axis, our vertical axis. Y, X. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a decent graph right there. Let's plot our points. -3, 2 is right here. -3, 0 is right here. And -5, 2 is right here. If we connect the points, our triangle looks like this. Now we want that to go over the y-axis. So our y values are going to stay the same this time, but it's going to be the x values that become negative. So let's look at the point -3, 2. That is 2 units, or that is 3 units away from the y-axis. So now we have to put it 3 units on the other side of the y-axis. That goes right here. So now that is at the point 3, 2. -3, 0 is also 3 units away from the y-axis. so we need to put it 3 units away from the y-axis on this side. And finally, negative 5, 2 is 5 units away from the y-axis, so we need to put that one 5 units away from the y-axis. Now that we've got all 3 points, connect the dots, and we see that that is now a reflection over the y-axis. This time the points changed. The y value stayed the same, but the x values became negative. So we had negative 3, 2, now we have 3, 2. We had negative 3, 0, now we have positive 3, 0. And we had negative 5, 2, now we have positive 5, 2. So one last recap. You can graph and show all this and count how many units away from the axes that you want to reflect. And just so you're aware, the general form of a reflection over the x-axis, the x value stays the same, but the y value is the opposite. And then the general form of reflecting over the y-axis is the x value becomes the opposite, but the y value stays the same. And that can be a little shortcut.